Is anyone else practically in denial about the fact that we have just over 1 week until Black Friday? I have a couple of complaints to file with the complaint department. Number one, where did 2018 go? Where did it go? I swear it just started. And number two, we've got a lot to talk about with Black Friday as makeup enthusiasts. So what I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about this huge divide that we have between the actual beauty community, just the regular consumers, you and me, and the rest of the beauty industry, including beauty gurus, Instagrammers, bloggers, brands. I feel like this time of the year is when it becomes even more relevant, because this is when you start seeing these absolutely gigantic hauls of thousands of dollars of makeup, and then you also see people saying, nope, I'm going on a low buy, I'm going on a no buy, I'm not going to buy anything this Black Friday. So why are these two polarizing experiences happening, and what do we need to do about it? Okay, so I have this list that I made, and I wasn't going to say this one first because I feel like this might be construed as a little on the boring side, but I got to put this first because it's most important, and that is have a budget. But I don't mean anything intricate. I don't mean you have to, start calculating down to the penny what your spending is and what you're going to do with it. I just mean you have to set aside a certain amount of money that you can spend on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the whole reason I was driven to make this video is that I see a lot of people doing something that I know from the field of nutrition, and that is people like to, well, let me give you the parallel. So people go on these diets, right? They go on these really intense diets, can't eat a grape during the day, you can eat as much bacon as you want, and then they fall off the diet. So, sometime in the afternoon, they eat a grape, and they're like, that's it, I blew my diet. And the next thing you know, they eat 5,000, 6,000 calories in a day because they felt like they blew it, so they just went off the rails and just started eating absolutely everything. This is so counterproductive to people on a diet. If you fall off a diet, it doesn't matter what time of day it happens, you just pick yourself right back up and get back on it. That's the way you have to do it. As long as you keep doing that, falling off the bandwagon and just a disaster ensues, the more you sabotage yourself. So I'm bringing that up because I see it happen a lot with makeup enthusiasts, especially who do this no buy, low buy thing, and trust me, I do it too. But you have to stay a little balanced with this. If you do the thing where you're absolutely not going to buy anything, but suddenly, accidentally, your credit card comes out, you end up placing a $50 order, and then you just think, that's it. It's ruined. I cannot come back from this, so I'm going to go spend $300 more throughout this day. I see this happen. It's human nature. It's this all or nothing mentality, and it's really harmful. So where I'm getting at with this is that, Black Friday is one of the biggest, it is the biggest shopping day of the year. There's going to be a bunch of tempting sales. The best thing that I think you can do is figure out a set amount of money that you can spend. And if you spend less than that, that's fine. But don't spend more than that. What happens as a result of knowing that you have X amount to spend, that you have set aside, is you wake up and maybe you do some window shopping, maybe you do some online cart shopping, and then you kind of compare your different carts. You say, okay, do I really want to spend $20 here because then I can only spend this amount here? Do I want to make this order or do I want to make this order? And it just kind of makes it so that by the end of the day, you figure out the best places to spend your money for you. You don't feel deprived, you still bought something. Number 2 on my list is to make lists. Basically what I'm saying here is to be self-aware. The funny thing about this particular one is I know that so few people are going to do this. I have faith that a good chunk of people are going to do my first tip. In fact, we're already planning on it. But this is hard for people, and I don't really know why, because it's so easy. All you got to do is grab your phone and the Notepad app or pen and paper, look at your collection, and be realistic about what you have a lot of and you don't need any more of, versus what you actually use up. What are you low on? What do you need to restock? This is basically just saying be self-aware of what you need versus what you don't, because the deals are going to tempt you. And the more you know in advance, this is something that I need, this is a deal that I should take advantage of, versus, oh, but I have 100 lipsticks, then, the more you'll be in control of your spending. And my next point is really tied into that, because it is not to use Black Friday as an excuse. Brands have really figured out how to capitalize on the holidays. You know, the holidays are supposed to be about spending time with your family, enjoying life, relaxing. And brands have somehow convinced us that it's a time to splurge on things that we don't need. And the problem with this is that sometimes we're tempted to splurge on things that we genuinely are not going to use. So, you know, again, this is where that self-awareness comes in. You may be thinking, now's a really good time to buy that super expensive eyeshadow palette, that set, the complete set of every X item ever made from the brand. And that's again why looking at what you already own is so helpful. So you can really see, you know, well, I'm tempted by this super colorful eyeshadow palette, but really I see I don't touch my colorful eyeshadows. And one other tip that I will kind of just drop off along with this is that if you are kind of interested in a set, but you also kind of don't really need it, I would suggest to you to wait until after the holidays. I know this is risky, and I know a lot of holiday sets sell out, but here's the thing. If it's still there after the holidays and you've had a lot of time to think about it, now it's going to be 50% off. And let's be honest, that's a way better time to buy something that you're not sure about, because you're going to have a lot less guilt on something that you got at that reduced of a price and don't use, versus if you had just bought it the second you were interested in it and then still never used it. Number 4 is remember that brands are not your friends. Oh man, this one just irks me so much. This one grinds my darn gears. What is with these emails from brands that are like, babe, we saved your cart for you, but you better get it now. Man, I walked away from my cart. I knew what I was doing, and don't come for me like that, because I know you have 500,000 of those items in stock and you're just hoping that I buy it. Saved it for me, come on. I just opened one today that said Black Friday leaks from Belk, and you know who sent it? Belk! Belk, you cannot leak your own deals. That's just not the definition of the word leak. But really, this is where you're going to start seeing all those really, really pushy emails as if you haven't seen them throughout the year. They're going to get real pushy because this is the time of the year where brands and companies want to have those really high numbers of sales. They're going to tempt you with everything. They're going to act like they're your best friend, and you have to know that they're not. Now, you can like the products and you can enjoy the products all you want, but just try to have a healthy perspective about what a brand actually means to you and their relationship to you. Because at the end of the day, you are dollar signs to them and not a friend. Number 5 is remember that this is not the last of the sales. By any means, not at all. In fact, I kind of think that you see quite often better sales at the beginning of the summer. The reason I think this is because summer is traditionally the worst time of year for retailers. So for example, I was looking at Ulta's gifts with purchase for the Cyber Fun Days. It's a lot of really small things for a $75 or $65 buy-in. It's a lot of, you know, little perfume vials, little foil samples of shampoo. And if I think back to some of the gifts with purchase from this past summer, it just doesn't even compare. But I think that's because companies know that people are already planning to spend. You know, a lot of people make Black Friday into this gigantic family holiday thing. So brands know that even if their deals aren't the best, people are still going to buy them. And I think as long as you kind of keep this perspective, it can help you to be smarter about sales, including sets. I'm really getting a little bit frustrated with looking at some of these sets and seeing these overinflated prices on them, overinflated values, I mean. You guys see that Sephora Advent calendar with an $85 value? Sephora, don't play us like that. Don't do that to us. That is not a good deal by any means. So, you know, again, kind of like pretty much all of my points, what I'm saying here is that you should be aware that no matter how much they tell you biggest sale of the year, it's not the biggest sale of the year. It's a good sale probably, but not the best. And remember, if you can wait it out till after New Year's, you guys know those sets go 50% off. You know they do. Okay, and then my final point, because I don't want this to just be about not spending. I know there's a lot of people who can spend, and that's totally okay. You should never feel guilty for that if you've worked hard in your life and you've earned a lot of money. So, regardless, be a smart shopper. Use a good cashback program if you're shopping online. I'm always amazed how many people still just use ebates when Be Frugal is way better. Top Cashback is way better. Like, just to give you an example, I believe it's Top Cashback currently has Sephora at 8% cashback, and people are still just clicking through ebates for 3%. I get it though, ebates has made a lot of sponsored videos, so a lot of people are just more aware of them. But you know, what that should tell you is that these companies that are not spending as much money on sponsorships are actually giving you a larger percentage of the cash back. So those are my 2 top recommendations. And of course, you know, look for other coupons, look to see if there's some kind of an email sign up to get you an additional discount. Just, you know, get the best deal when you finally decide on your deal. I don't know about you guys, but I've made that mistake too many times of just clicking through and making a purchase and then noticing the coupon that was sent to my email address. So I hope you guys did find this video to be helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Make sure you guys are entered into my giveaway. I will link it below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.